You know, when most people hear the word zombies, they probably think of stuff like this. But when I hear the word zombies, I think of this. Most of you probably don't know this, but way back before any of the content that I've been doing in recent years, I was actually making Call of Duty Zombies videos, and it was actually one of the biggest inspirations for me even creating this channel in the first place. Of course, I've since wiped those videos off the face of the cyberspace because they were absolutely terrible. But the point is, this little side mode that most Call of Duty players have probably only played like once or twice has genuinely had a huge impact on my life, and with Black Ops 6 around the corner, or maybe it's already out depending on when this video comes out, and with my interest in zombies having returned, I thought why not go back to my channel's roots for a little bit and take a retrospective look at all of the Treyarch zombie maps from World at War to Black Ops 4.
I'm ignoring.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm only planning on covering the maps from Treyarch's original Ether timeline, but maybe later on, if I feel like it, I might also take a look at the zombies from the other games as well. And initially I actually thought about making this a video on the entire Ether storyline, but seeing as how Wendigoon, who is one of my favorite creators on the platform, is currently making a video on that exact topic, and it'll probably be better than anything I could put out, I decided to just go with this instead. And I might also split this up into multiple parts because there's just so many maps, but anyways, this intro has gone on for way too long. So, let's begin with the first ever Call of Duty Zombies map. Nacht der Untoten. Imagine it's 2008. You just bought Call of Duty World at War, and you've finally beaten the entire campaign. And after you place down that flag, and the credits start rolling, you think you're done. Game's over, and the only thing left to play is the multiplayer. But that is until the credits stop rolling, and you see this. Fucking terrifying. Now, that's not something that I personally experienced because I was literally like 4 years old when this game came out, but that's how I imagine the people that first discovered this felt, and that moment of surprise was quickly overrun by uneasiness, because this map is the very definition of creepy. The deafening sound of nothing but the quiet flames of barrels burning outside, making you feel isolated, until you hear the faint groaning of zombies slowly appearing out from the fog. You take to action, and after you finally take out the last couple of zombies trying to break down your barricades, you think it's over, until you hear the haunting sound of a choir as the round number changes, and you realize that they won't stop coming. You can try and find salvation by following the messages frantically scribbled on the walls, and opening doors with the points you've collected by killing zombies. But you'll soon find yourself with nowhere left to go, and the reality sets in. You're stuck here, in this decrepit building scarred by war, and left to fight the endless horde of reanimated Nazi soldiers, until you either give up and let the infinite horde take you, or you at least go down fighting. The only things here to give you any sort of aid are the purchasable weapons drawn onto the walls, the power-ups the zombies will sometimes drop, And of course, the mystery box, which will give you a weapon at random, and if you're super lucky, the first ever wonder weapon, the ray gun, which, as you would imagine, shoots powerful rays that will do a ton of damage and will even one-shot zombies until their health becomes too high as you progress through the rounds. But aside from only those few tools, you're completely alone, with the only thing keeping you alive is your skill. And that's the great thing about Nocturne. By the way, I'm trying to say these names with a proper German pronunciation, but if I fuck it up, I'm sorry. But that's the great thing about Nocturne. Although it is the most bare-bones map in the series, well, with it being the first, its simplicity makes it the map you want to play if you just want to get that core zombies experience, getting the best gear and surviving to the highest round possible. However, just because the map is the simplest, doesn't mean that it doesn't have its fair share of secrets as well. Like how in the mystery box room, there's this radio you can knife or shoot, and it will begin to play a variety of different songs, including the first of many Easter egg songs created by Kevin Sherwood, WTF. Also, just a quick side note, Kevin Sherwood himself posted one of my memes on his Instagram stories, so in some way, I am now kind of connected to the zombies universe. So that's pretty cool. There's also some secrets that revolve around the lore of this map. Now, I did say that I wasn't going to make this a storyline video, but I will be going over some very brief details about the story as it pertains to each map, as I feel like the lore greatly enhances the experience of them. Nocturne takes place during World War II. An Allied plane flies over a German airfield when, for whatever reason, it ends up crashing. Caught in the crash were German army trucks carrying hordes of zombies, as well as supplies of element 115, the element responsible for creating the zombies. The only survivors are our 4 unnamed Marines, who hold out against the undead until they are eventually overrun and perish. Just like the map itself, the lore surrounding it is very simple, but it works in reinforcing the hopeless vibe, especially since we know canonically our characters don't make it, and we never even find out what their names were. So everything I mentioned so far, like the spooky atmosphere, the simple but fun gameplay, and the lore, make Nocturne not the best zombies map in my opinion, but definitely a map you can still have some good fun on to this day. And of course, it was the first, so we have to give a respect for that. But the next map, Verrückt, pretty much took everything that Nocturne did and took it up a notch. For starters, a cool little thing this map does is if a group of at least 3 or more people are playing, players will be split up and spawn in 2 different rooms. And if you're playing solo, well, you'll just spawn in either one. As far as I'm aware, this is the only map to have this feature, and I'm not sure why it was never used again. But I think it's pretty cool how it gives you that little moment of panic, realizing that you and the boys got separated. The only way to reunite with each other is to explore the dark asylum you find yourselves in, until you eventually find what is one of the most important elements of zombies gameplay that will be implemented in nearly every zombie map going forward, the power switch. This one even comes with a complimentary severed arm. Flipping the switch will then turn on the power throughout the asylum, allowing you to use the new electric traps as well as purchasing the newly introduced Perca-Cola machines, with the original classic 4 perks making their debut. Those being Double Tap, which doubles the rate of fire for all of your weapons, Speed Cola, which makes you reload faster, Quick Revive, which allows players to revive each other much faster, only it's literally useless if you're playing solo since, you know, you have no one to revive. And of course, the GOAT, Juggernog, which essentially makes it so that you can take more hits from zombies. And as we'll come to see very soon, perks will go on to be a staple for zombies gameplay moving forward. There was also one big change made to the mystery box. If you hit the box and you get super unlucky, you will sometimes get hit with one of the biggest fuck you moments, and instead of receiving a weapon, you will get the teddy bear. and you will hear a demonic voice laugh at you as the bear floats to the sky and the box disappears, moving to a random location on the map. This is of course super annoying, but hey, at least the demon girl is nice enough to give you a refund. So Verduct introduced a lot of new gameplay elements that would go on to be stepping stones for what zombies would go on to become. But what I really think this map did best was be absolutely fucking terrifying.
What the fuck?
Visually, Verduct somehow looks even more fucked up than Nocturne Toten did, despite it being daytime instead of nighttime. The sky looks sickly with an orange tint, almost as if it was on fire. Looking out into the courtyard, the only thing that you can see that would act as some symbol of beauty is the fountain, but even that's had all life drained from it. Looking at it from above, you can see that it's filled with what I think may be blood, or just really nasty water. Inside of the asylum isn't much prettier as the walls are painted with blood, many having unhinged writings of cries for help or cryptic ciphers. There's even many spots where water seeps through the cracks of the second story floor. The entire place just looks like the zombies took a shit everywhere. Which wouldn't be surprising since even the toilets are clogged with either poop or blood. Maybe both. And the zombies themselves are extra scary on this map. For some reason, the zombies on Verduct will run at you faster than the zombies on any other map, and it's absolutely fucking terrifying. Seriously, you have never felt true fear until you're frantically looking around for the last zombie as you hear its screams echoing through the halls, until you finally spot it sprinting at you at Mach speed. And all of this is made even scarier when you take into account that Verduct actually exists. Kind of. Verrückt, literally translating to insane or crazy in German, was actually based on a real asylum in Berlin called the Wittenau Sanatorium. During World War II, the Nazis would send those they saw as mentally and racially inferior here to be forcefully experimented on, or even just flat out euthanized. By the end of the war, as many as 4,607 patients were killed here. With this super messed up history in mind, the Easter eggs around the map are made all the more horrifying, knowing the atrocities that were committed on actual people in these places. Like how you can interact with this chair in one of the spawn rooms, and you will hear the sound of a man's blood-curdling screams of pain. In other places of the map, you can also hear the cries of a woman and a child, and all of the people that were likely tortured here. It's genuinely unnerving. But I think that's what makes this map still so unique. It's a kind of horror that none of the maps that came after would capture. And because of that, I think Verrückt is still an amazing map to come back to, especially if you want to get really spooked. Plus, the Easter egg song, Lullaby of a Dead Man, now with the incredible vocals of Alina Sigmund, is really good. For the next map, we're going to be taking a trip over to Japan in Shinonuma, Swamp of Death. One of the biggest additions you'll notice right away before you even start playing this map is that we have actual characters introduced now. Tank Dempsey, an American who says fuck a lot and likes shooting and blowing stuff up, and is someone who we actually technically met back in Verrückt since he was actually one of the characters there. We just didn't know at the time because timeline. Nikolai Belinsky, a Russian who loves, and I mean loves, vodka. Takio Misaki, a Japanese Bushido whose voice lines always include Emperor and or honor somewhere. And of course, Dr. Edward Richtofen, a crazy German scientist who's hell-bent on taking over the world. Hold on, okay, I almost spoiled that.
Bruh.
He's crazy, and he's German. That's all you need to know. Well, they're all crazy, but that's why we love them. But anyways, on to the actual map now. Shinonuma is actually pretty unique since instead of trapping you in a singular building, This map allows you to explore the grounds of an abandoned swamp research site. Each corner of the map is occupied with different smaller buildings, like the doctor's room, the fishing hut, the storage, and the communication room, all with unique trails connecting them to the main spawn area. A really cool thing is that opening each building will spawn a random perk machine, although I wouldn't say it's a good idea to stay in these since they're so small that you can get overrun very quickly. But the areas outside are very open and make it very easy to train. I know I haven't used this term in the video yet, so if you're not familiar with zombies terminology, training is essentially movement that's intended to round up zombies into one large group, making it much easier to kill them while optimizing damage output and use of your resources. And the open areas in Shinonuma are amazing for this. Well, most of them. Since this is of course a swamp we're running around in, there are many spots you can step into and you'll be slowed down significantly, making it very easy to get game ended. But I like how these make it so that you need to learn the map to avoid them, or at least be good enough to get through them without getting diddied. Plus, this map also has a few new things exclusive to it, like the zipline which takes you to and from the spawn room to the doctor's quarters, which saves you the risk of getting swarmed in the swamp below its path, and the flogger trap which does that. Oh, and how could I almost forget?
No, 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 no! Wait!
Yes, this was the first map to introduce the Hellhounds. There's two types of people in this world. People who shit their pants the first time they saw that fog roll in with that nightmarish round change sound, and liars. Every few rounds there will be a special round where only these monstrosities spawn in. Managing to survive the round will reward you with a max ammo at the end. As scary as they look, the Hellhounds aren't actually that strong, so they're actually super helpful in helping refill your ammo. But man, they are fucking scary. Especially in World at War where they somehow look even more horrifying with the lower quality graphics. And last but not least, this map is also where the second ever wonder weapon made its debut, the Wunderwaffe DG2, which shoots bolts of electricity that electrocute zombies and chains 20 that are in close proximity. And this thing will take you to high rounds super easily.
Your guts, maggot suck!
And once again, I just want to appreciate how, despite the majority of this map being outdoors, the atmosphere still manages to be extremely eerie. The fog that slithers throughout the map, making it feel like you never know what's going to emerge from the mist. And that's not even to mention the map's many Easter eggs. If you look outside the map near the storage area, you can see a huge meteor of element 115, telling us that the purpose behind this facility likely revolved around it. Which is also such a cool, subtle way of giving the player pieces of the storyline. Another one of the most well-known Easter eggs is, of course, the corpse of Peter McCain, which hangs right in front of you as soon as you spawn in. Peter McCain is a character in the storyline who has quite a bit of significance. He was an American OSS spy who was sent to infiltrate this facility in order to investigate the research being conducted here. But on his jump down, his parachute somehow ended up getting caught and, well... But what makes this one even more spooky is that, in the World at War version at least, if you manage to bring down Peter's body with grenades, and if you get too close to the body, there's the possibility that you'll be randomly killed.
What the fuck is what?
I imagine this was probably just a glitch, but the fact that it happens with this corpse is really chilling. And who knows, maybe there is something supernatural about it. Nah, probably not. In the buildings you can find a bunch of different radios that give different pieces of lore, like this creepy message that was intended for Peter.
I hope you're receiving this transmission, Peter. If you are not, then all is our been lost. You must know by now that we failed to contain the asylum, and that we had to move the experiment here. Location. The numbers will guide you. The giant must remain. All costs. Repeat. Der Reese must safe at all costs. The DG2 experiments continue. Might be our only advantage now. Find Dr. Max's. They may know what's going on. The use of 115 is dangerous at best. I'm not sure we can continue here. We've lost most of our best people. I hope you get this. I hope it hasn't happened there too. But I'm almost out of hope.
60. 54. 06.96. 101. 55. 44.94.
In the doctor's quarters, you can also find Richtofen's diary, which is what the crew came to Shinonuma to collect in the first place. Interacting with it will then cause you to hear Richtofen give a really creepy laugh. Hinting that he may be up to something nefarious in all this. But in my opinion, the creepiest Easter egg is the activation of this map's song. In the comm room, you'll find this telephone sitting on one of the desks. Interacting with it will then dial some number before someone actually picks up and fucking whispers this into your ear.
I know you're sleeping.
Pure nightmare fuel. This actually still creeps me out every time I activate this, but the banger that comes after is definitely worth it. The one has got to be my favorite of the World at War songs. Even though Shinonuma isn't one of those maps I come back to very often, and it didn't really introduce anything game-changing like Verokta and the next map did, I still really like it and enjoy playing it whenever I do. Speaking of the next map, which is the fourth and final Zombies map of World at War, and one of the most important maps in Zombies history. This is where Treyarch really established that Zombies wasn't just going to remain a little side mode that they threw together in between lunch breaks. This was going to be a completely different game, separate from the campaign and multiplayer that Call of Duty was known for, and something that would eventually evolve to the point that it would garner its own community of people that would literally buy Call of Duty games just for Zombies alone. I Am People, and the defining moment that really got that ball rolling was here, in Deris, the giant. Spawning in, you're met with a massive contraption that, locked behind a door, houses the Pack-a-Punch machine, what is arguably this map's greatest addition to the series. In order to gain access to the Pack-a-Punch machine, you must make your way to the power and then link the teleporters on each side of the map to the mainframe. Yeah, I said teleporters, all of which teleport you back to the spawn room, making them great to use as a safe escape and shortcut to the Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch machine upgrades your weapons by increasing their damage, changing their names, giving them a super cool camo, and making them do this really cool sound effect when firing. God, that's so good. Sometimes pack-a-punching certain weapons will even change their ammo type. For example, if you pack-a-punch the M1911, it will then shoot grenades instead of bullets, pretty much making it a mini rocket launcher. You can even pack-a-punch the returning Wunderwaffe, making it the Wunderwaffe at DG3, extending its chain reach even further. Although there is a weird glitch in the World at War version of Deris that takes away your Juggernog if you accidentally shock yourself with the Wunderwaffe.
I'm so sick of this fuck!
So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, the Pack-a-Punch is really cool, and it isn't just one of the greatest innovations in Zombies, but the process to unlock it became the foundation for pretty much every Zombies map created afterwards. Oh, and who could forget, this map also introduced the Monkey Bombs, which will dance around and attract zombies to it before eventually exploding, making it a great tool to use if your teammates are downed.
I got you, homie!
So yeah, it's pretty safe to say that Deris introduced a lot of gameplay elements that massively contributed to Zombies' evolution. However, not only did it evolve the gameplay, but also the storytelling. The radios hidden around the map give some of the most crucial pieces of lore that reveal a lot about the world we're experiencing. We learn about the existence of Group 935, we learn that their goal was originally the experimentation of Element 115, and research on how it could have improved humanity, before the group's leader and former friend of Richtofen, Dr. Maxis, turned their goals to helping the Nazi Party win World War II, by experimenting with the element to create an undead Nazi army. Speaking of Richtofen, this is also where we learn that Richtofen is kind of fucking evil. Long story short, Richtofen was messing around with teleportation and accidentally sent himself to the moon, where he found an alien pyramid thingy that is connected to the Dark Ether, which is basically another dimension that's pretty much hell. And after making contact with the pyramid, Richtofen went super loco.
There, I can see now. Oh my God! I'm standing in a circular cave, surrounded by some kind of machinery. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It looks almost alien in nature. There's a pyramid structure in the center of the room. I'm going to try and carefully touch it. Ah! Static electricity. It's smooth to the touch. What is this place? Dr. Schuster? Is that you? Dr. Schuster? Look at this. It appears to be covered in some kind of hieroglyphic language. I've not seen anything like it before. Why are you whispering to me?
After Richtofen made his way back to Earth, he felt a lot of resentment towards Maxis for always looking down on his work. And for revenge, Richtofen betrayed him by trapping him and his daughter Samantha in a teleporter and sent them both to the moon.
What? Edward, what are you doing? Open the door! Edward, open this door now!
I'm scared.
Don't do! Stay by me, Samantha!
Goodbye, Dr. Maxis.
Where Samantha accidentally ended up taking control of the alien pyramid thingy, which then granted her control over all of the zombies. After Maxis tells Samantha to
Kill them.
he then committed suicide, sending Samantha into a bloodthirsty rage as she commanded the zombies to go after every Group 935 member. In response, Richtofen awoke the rest of our crew, who had their memories wiped after being experimented on by Richtofen, and together they formed the crew officially known as Ultimus, and worked together to stop Samantha. But unbeknownst to the others, Richtofen had a more sinister agenda cooking in his noodle. I know I kinda went on a bit of a lore spiel there, but I really wanted to include that because not only does it give context to many of the future maps, but it also makes Derice feel like something bigger. This is where it all began. The reason behind the zombies' existence, the reason why they're after us, the origin of the Hellhounds, the infinite offspring of Samantha's dog Fluffy, who was experimented on and became corrupted by the Dark Ether. There's also the Flytrap Easter egg where if you shoot a pack-a-punched weapon at this control panel outside the map, some items will start floating into the air and scatter around the map, followed by Samantha saying,
Let's play hide and seek.
You can then run around the map looking for all of the individual pieces. After you find all of them, Samantha will then angrily yell at you in defeat. Also, if you throw a monkey bomb into the furnace, Samantha will yell this at you. Which, I mean, she's kinda right. Why would you do that to him? All of this combined with the map's overall simple but excellent layout make Derice not just a great map because of what it did for zombies, but just a fun map in general. And jamming out to the banger that is Beauty of Annihilation while you and the boys camp out on the catwalk is an experience like no other. So, we've gone through every zombie map from World at War, and I really can't say enough just how much I love this era of zombies. The darker, more horror, grittier vibes the maps had are absolutely what I love the most about them, and they're still pretty amazing gameplay wise despite being somewhat bare bones compared to the maps we got in the future games. But those are for another video for some other day. So yeah, this took quite a while to make, so if you stuck through to the end, I hope you somewhat enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And remember,